All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Bakar Kwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. And this is going to be a video on, or asking the question, have women been able to compete with men in the way that they desired, man? Right? Because right now in this world, you've got plenty of women out there that their sole desire is to be in competition with men, right? The sole desire is to want to try and have the same kind of money making capabilities as men, right? And all of these things. They want to have an equal position in men in all categories, right? But have they been able to even compete with men in the realm in which men compete, right? Because the reason why men desire to have all of these things is ultimately for the sake of getting the opposite gender, right? Because their desire is to get what the opposite gender cares about, right? But women have been so desirous in this world to try and be men. But have women been able to now, because they so-called think they get into the bag, right? They so-called think they get into the bag. Have they been able to now get the most attractive and handsome men in this world and get those men to act towards them, right? How men desires to have all these riches are able to get women to act towards them when they got those things. Have women been able to even do that? No, they haven't, right? They have not been able to do that. So all their chasing of this money and this wealth was pointless, really. Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 9, rise up, you women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech, right? All these women that was at ease was getting given easier access to certain things instead of men. But to what end, though? What was the end goal of all the things that they were so desirous to have? What did they end up really receiving at the end of all of that? Did they really end up in a better position than, like, did they end up with the female alternative of what men desire to have in this world, where they have multiple men, right, that are all doing what they want them to do? No, they didn't. No, they haven't been able to ever once really get that, because it's not natural, right? They haven't properly been able to actually get what they was so-called design, and that's why you hear them and see them on. That's why there's like a never-ending catalog of videos going in on women, and there's an ever-ending catalog on videos of women complaining. Right? There's never a time where these people that have all these podcasts can't get some women on there, whether it be them coming on there for a second or third time to talk about why they can't have a man and this and a man that, but they're not trying to get a man the way how they're supposed to get a man. They're trying to get a man some new bugged out wicked left hand way that Esau's told them that they can get one, and it don't work. Right? It's just not natural. It don't work, man. Right? Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall you be traversed. 10 many days and years shall you be troubled. Ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail. The gathering shall not come. Right? It's not going to go the way that you women thought it was going to go when it's all said and done. And this competition of this like male and female back and forth thing that's been going on for a long time now, right? It's going to end with the women having to apologize. It's not going to end with the men humbling themselves and saying, sorry, babe, sorry, sis. We was wrong and that. Nah, we ain't going to be saying none of that. Sorry, there ain't going to be no sorry, sis, and all that. And we ain't going to be calling you women Lord. You women are going to have to apologize. And if you ain't apologizing to one man of the elect, well, you're going to be apologizing to another one. And if you don't apologize to any man of the elect, well, then good riddance to you. And even if you do apologize, you still might not be accepted. So you're going to have to, all women are going to have to truly be humbled in that time, man. Truly, not no fake humility where they get on TikTok and stage some crying. No, real humility where they really know that this is life and on life in the situation that they now find themselves in the whole earth, and ain't no safe haven that they can try and monkey branch onto and try no hypergamy thing. They ain't going to be nothing better than a man of the Lord in that time, man. They ain't going to be nothing better than that. And the man of the Lord, the men of the Lord are going to be arrogant in a righteous way. Because right now they've been catching all kind of hell from everyone. It's not like, oh, only Esau is bothering us. No, Moab's bothering us too. Ham, Japhet, Ishmael, Elam, Ethiopians and that Cush, everyone's bothering us. And even within our own nation, people are bothering us as well. There's nothing but enemies for people that are trying to seek righteousness on through Yahweh Bashem Yahshua. And that's why we really don't like none of you people, man. We don't like any of you, to be honest with you. We don't really, well, let me speak for myself. I don't really like too many of you. I'm too many people, to be honest with you. I find that most of our people wicked as hell. But then we have to humble down to be able to maneuver life until we don't have to anymore, because Yahweh gave us our rightful position that he decided we're supposed to get on the earth. Verse 11, tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the present fears, for the fruit of wine. They're going to be longing back for the times where they was able to get their way. But they was able to have a guy that's paying one bill and another guy that's paying another bill, but then another guy that they just think super handsome and they can do whatever they want to do with him. But then he ain't got enough of a good job. So then they got another guy that's got this thing and that thing. But then they've got the guy that's got all the things that they want, but he don't want them. But every now and again, he gives her a text message and says, come on, babes, slide on through. I'm in your town. I'm in your city, babes. And then she holler at him and runs away. Turns her phone off and runs and goes hide with this guy. That's what women are doing in this world right now, whether men know it or not. And unfortunately, this is the truth, that even men that are of the elect have had to go through these kind of things, man. Right? To harden them to hate this world even more. Tremble you women that are at ease, be troubled you careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the present fields, for the roof of wine. Like all of the things that's gone on in this world, right? And how women are trying to compete, it's gonna still end with them in tears anyway. Right? It's not gonna go the way that they thought it was gonna go. It's not gonna go with them just winning at the end of it all. And let me see if I can find a particular scripture that I was looking for, man. Where it says Salakia. I'll put it in after the video is uploaded, but it says, but she that liveth in pleasure is, let me see, you know what, let me see. Is it in Peter's? Maybe it's in Timothy. Let me see. It says, but she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. But even this, you know what, I'll read this scripture first. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over a man, but to be in silence. But how many women can you see in this world that want to do that? If even a man's walking down the street, right, and another man that knows him sees that man and starts talking with him about something that the woman doesn't even know anything about, she's gonna have to try and find a way to throw herself in the mix to try and make the conversation somehow be something to do with her most of the time, man, rather than just keeping their mouth shut. They always want to try and make out like they know something about life, man, when a lot of the times they don't know what they're talking about. And every single woman now wants to try and keep getting on TikTok, running their mouth about the Hebrew Israelites this and the Hebrew Israelites that. But when did the women ever come up with any kind of doctrine in this world that changed the world so vast using the Bible? When did they ever do that? They never did it, man. They just all joined on with Esau's Christianity doctrine that he made, that fake doctrine, man. They ain't used the Bible in no way and without lying to try and speak righteousness. They've never did it. Verse 13, and Adam was first formed, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression. But you got some women that are so bugged out in this world that they want to say, I think Adam sinned first. I thought Adam ate the fruit. They want to say that. Just trying to escape any kind of blame for themselves when it don't say that in the Bible. So they're making it up. I just read it. It says Adam wasn't deceived, but the woman was. Eve. Verse 15, notwithstanding she shall be saved in childbearing, but a lot of them are unaliving the children that are born in their womb. So they ain't even given that access to be doing that. They want to. A lot of women like to talk about the whole, oh well, you wouldn't even be alive if it wasn't for women. These times, some of these same women that's running their mouth saying that stuff have had a ton of abortion. You know what I mean? A ton of unalivements from the womb. But they want to talk about you wouldn't be alive without a woman and this and that, right? But they wouldn't be alive without men also having the seed. And if they could, right? Here's the thing, here's the kicker with that, yeah. If they could get a baby without a man, that would be one to take away one of their main destructive weapons in this world anyway, where they can put men on child support. So they talk all this, oh, you wouldn't be about this without a woman, and want to say, oh, the man's only a sperm donor, right? If the man's seed's not significant to the child being born, why is it that so many women use the child support thing as a weapon against men then in this world? Why is that a thing that they use? But there's so many things that you can say about this whole society, right? That just shows that it's corrupt and off. And women have always been down for the wickedness. Every single time Esau makes a new law that allows women to get away with being even more less of accountability and wicked, they've always been down for it, man. But at the same time, they want to try and compete with men. But they don't want to compete with men equally. But I'm here to say this before I end this video. Yahweh is going to make it become a thing where women have to compete with men in a men realm, right? Not compete with men with fixed rules where they can jump in and out of being a woman at any moment. They're gonna have to compete with men in a men way, the way how men compete with men for real, when all hell breaks loose in the society, and when it's survival of who can get away with putting their own will into action. And it's not gonna be no funny time, and it's not a time that even I can physically handle myself in neither. It's gonna be whether Yahweh is helping you or not. But how many of you women want to believe in Yahweh though? Really? Or most of you getting on TikTok to scoff? There's not an equal amount of videos on women talking about the Hebrew Israelite thing where they're praising it. They're always on there talking about how they used to date some guy and it didn't work out well. And they're making excuses to try and be against either the whole Bible or the fact that they're an Israelite, so that they can try and reject what Israelites told them, and that they can find a new man, some new lover, and then ruin the relationship with that guy as well and get on his damn nerves, which is what ends up happening anyway. But you know what, man? I'm gonna end the video there. I just wanted to talk about that for a second, because women in this world all over the place are so desirous to be with men. They want to compete with men about money. They want to compete with men about who's the most attractive. They want to compete with men about who's the most intelligent. But how has that really worked out for women anyway in this society? They're still always complaining all the time, right? Even though they get to choose all the men that they date now. But yeah, shalom.